Welcome back to Hardball. Mitt Romney's surrogate, former Governor John Sununu of New Hampshire, left little doubt where the campaign's headed when he said on a conference call just yesterday, quote, "I wish this president would learn how to be an American." Well, even his clarification that Obama should be learning to, quote, should learn the American formula for creating business left the Romney campaign's intent quite clear to portray President Obama as somehow un-American. They keep doing this over and over again. Charles Blows, a columnist for the New York Times. Joan Walsh, our friend, is editor-at-large for Salon, and, of course, an MSNBC political analyst. You know what? Anybody who doubts this is really not paying attention, Charles and Joan. This is a symphony. It goes on and on. He's foreign. The references by Sununu all over the place. The candidate himself yesterday said he's foreign. I think the president plays the xylophone or the vibraphone like Lionel Hampton, and he lets the whole orchestra around him fill it in with the bugle and the trumpet noise from Sununu. They're all singing the same song. This guy's not one of us. And here's a guy who's been president for 4 years. We know he's one of us. He is one of us. Why are they doing it?
Me?
Yeah, you. Oh. Yes, sir.
Well, I mean, you know why it is. I mean, it kind of connects to a certain part of the base of the Republican base that sees Barack Obama, even to this day, as very other than they are. And as much as they can drive a wedge between the American population, the American electorate, and Barack Obama, they see that as a winning strategy. And that has happened not just in this campaign cycle, but since the 2008 campaign of trying to paint this particular guy as other. It's not completely different from Clinton, but it's kind of one-ups the Clinton do you think it would be the case if he was a guy with a more familiar African-American background in this country, coming up from slavery and Jim Crow, moving north or to the Midwest? Do you think they would be playing the same card, or would it be different? I think it's absolutely different for a lot of reasons. And part of that is he's born in Hawaii, for those who even believe that he's born in America. Many of them believe that he's born in Kenya or some other country. His mother dated, fell in love, married two men out of her race, never once married another white man. He is raised in Hawaii, which not every Republican even believes is part of the
United States. Funny part. I would like to see that test on Jay Leno some night when he does, jaywalking. Do you think Hawaii should be admitted to the Union?
I mean, it's kind of like a forward operating base in case Asia ever gets out of control. That's kind of how people see it, kind of like, not kind of drawn in that way. And you have an education that is in part in Indonesia. And even if you don't know where that is, it's not England. It's very exotic, the tale of Barack Obama.
Yeah, but he went to prep school in Honolulu, one of the best prep schools, certainly on the island of Honolulu, or the city of Honolulu. He has gone to Columbia. He went to school in California. He got the Columbia undergrad, Harvard Law. He's been involved in politics since he got out of school. He's been a pretty public figure. He hasn't lived his life in the shadows. Let me bring in Joan here. The other day, Sununu. There he is attacking the guy, saying all this stuff about cocaine and all this stuff, all these old charges, and then saying he went back to Indonesia a second time. He was only there for 4 years when he was a kid. Right. And anyway, and it made it sound like he had to go back to his homeland. He just keeps putting. By the way, this terrible thing that Michelle Bachmann's pushing about, we've got a Muslim Brotherhood running the show. Why doesn't John Sununu, who comes from a Middle Eastern background, who's members of he's a member of a lot of legitimate Arab American organizations, why doesn't he speak up and say, stop this rot? McCain has said this. He said it today. Joan?
Yes, Chris. McCain came out and attacked Bachmann and defended Huma Abedin. McCain is we really have to go back to 2008 when John McCain stood up and said to that woman who called Barack Obama an Arab, ma'am, he's a good Christian man. We disagree on policy. That's kind of the last decent thing that a leading Republican has done. And he was called upon basically to do it again, and he did it. John Sununu should be saying that. He should be talking about his Palestinian-American father. He should be talking about his international roots, but he can't because they have doubled down on the hatred. They've doubled down on demonizing this president that most of us recognize as one of us, who was raised by his white grandparents, whose grandfather was a World War II veteran, who has a different background and then a very, very, very American background.
Okay, well, a lot of us are proud of the fact that where he came from and how far he's gone, as he said in a way that always grabbed me. And I think of this as something that only could have happened in this country. Well, today on the Senate floor, John McCain showed himself at his best again. He showed some courage and some decency. Look at what he did here. He defended the longtime Clinton aide, Huma Abedin, who's been on many trips, or several trips with he and Secretary Clinton when she was in the Senate. And here he is going after Republicans, including Michelle Bachmann, for this trash talk. Let's listen.
On June 13th, 5 members of Congress wrote to the Deputy Inspector General of the Department of State demanding that he begin an investigation into the possibility that Huma Abedin and other American officials are using their influence to promote the cause of Muslim Brotherhood within the U.S. government. These allegations about Huma Abedin and the report from which they are drawn are nothing less than an unwarranted and unfounded attack on an honorable citizen, a dedicated American, and a loyal public servant.
You know, Charles, it seems to me that even the right wing on the far right ought to pay attention. Hillary Clinton supported the war in Iraq. I, of course, opposed. I believe you did, too. It was one of my problems with her candidacy. She was a hawk on that war. Huma was with her the whole time. Boy, that was clever pro-Arab strategy. Launch an American war against Iraq. Boy, she's having a lot of influence as an Arab mole. It's so ludicrous. Hillary Clinton's one of the most pro-Israeli politicians we've got in this country, and good for her. But to say that she's somehow being the tool through Huma Abedin of the terrorists, it's ridiculous, but somebody's buying this, or certainly somebody's selling it.
Right, and I think that this actually is less about Huma, and again, it is about Barack Obama. If you look at the anti-Sharia, anti-international laws, they don't pop up right after 9/11, which you might have thought, well, maybe that's the impetus for this. They don't pop up then. They don't pop up when we go to war in Afghanistan. They don't pop up when we go to war in Iraq. They pop up post-Barack Obama. This is kind of that whole kind of otherness. There's some kind of Muslim relationship there. There's some kind of devious activity that's happening in the government, and it may creep into my local municipality. And it also allows people to paint someone who's other who they don't necessarily live around. These laws don't pop up necessarily in the blue states. If you look at the way Muslims are distributed in this country, if just the top 10 states where they are, it's not really blue states. The only one that fits into there is Texas, and it's less than 1% of the population of Texas is Muslim. So it's somebody other than the people who live next to me, and I can demonize them, and I can demonize Barack Obama through these people. And the people are being used in that way. It's a very sad kind of statement about where we are in our politics in America, that we would choose to do that to people who have done nothing wrong.
Well, making your point, Charles, anonymous Romney advisors now signal in a paper today, in an interview with the website BuzzFeed, that the next phase of the Romney campaign strategy will be ruthless, said one advisor. I mean, this is a guy who admitted to cocaine use. He's talking about the president, had a sweetheart deal with his house in Chicago, and was associated and worked with Rod Blagojevich to get Valerie Jarrett appointed to the Senate. Well, I guess that didn't work out if it ever happened. Joan, are you old enough to remember, I'm not sure you are, fluoridation and the fight the crazy right was? They're fluoridating our water because they want to somehow control our minds.
It's a communist plot.
Yeah. Not to save our teeth, of course.
No, of course not. It's to control our minds. It's all about our minds. But, Chris, to go back again, this brings up John McCain to me, because one of the things they're saying there is that John McCain ran a lousy campaign, and John McCain maybe had access to this kinds of stuff, and he didn't use it. And that's just not true. The other group that is really being insulted by the Romney campaign is the media. It's basically saying we didn't look into the Resco stuff, which of course we did. We didn't look into the cocaine stuff, which of course people did. I mean, this president has been vetted. We've looked into those stories. We all spent time talking about Reverend Wright. They think they're going to go back to that playbook that didn't work in 2008. 4 years later, when we know this president, you may disagree with him about the Affordable Care Act. Have at it. But we know who he is, and he's been under the spotlight. We know his family. We know his wife. We know he's one of us. This isn't going to work this time, but as you've made the case many times before, this is all they have. They're terrified.
Speaking of that topic you just talked about, the president's old bad habits that he admitted to publicly, I want to thank Charles Blow for joining us tonight. I'm sure you've heard that one before.
That is the worst.
Anyway, thank you. Thank you, Joan Wall. Sorry, I can't avoid it.